April the 6th was the 42nd day of Russia's large-scale war against Ukraine. Borodianka is a town that can surpass Bucha in the scale of the tragedy. 50 kilometers away from Kyiv, it was turned into ruins by the Russian military. The occupiers dropped air bombs on high-rise apartment buildings, and they shot at people who were trying to dismantle the debris with the hope of rescuing at least someone from there. The Russian military did not provide green corridors. They fired on civilians with heavy artillery.
Надо мною летіло такі красні, такі багато красних начисів. То я лягала в землю і лежала в землі, поки це все не пролітало. Обстрілювали страшно.
15,000 Borodianka citizens had been in the hell of occupation almost since the first days of the war. The number of victims in the town is still unknown. But there may be more than in Bucha, which has shocked the world with the mass killings of civilians, says Prosecutor General of Ukraine Irina Venediktova. Currently, Borodianka is closed. Rescuers and sappers work there. Meanwhile, another horrific discovery was made in Gostomel, a liberated city near the capital. There, in one of the garages, police found the bodies of 11 civilians killed by the occupiers. This was stated by the former Minister of Internal Affairs Arsen Avakov. Locals say that shooting civilians was a training for Russian snipers who then pulled the dead bodies to the garage. Aiming at civilians. On April the 6th, the occupiers opened devastating jet artillery fire in the town of Vuhledar, Donetsk region.
Пряме потрапляння в один з будинків. Зараз пожежники локалізують все загоряння.
The Russian military fired on a humanitarian aid station in a local school.
Вот здесь оторвало ногу женщине. Это гуманитарную помощь мы выдавали.
Regional authorities say at least 4 people were killed and 4 injured. The village of Ocheretino, Donetsk region, was also shelled. 1 person died. The occupiers also fired on residential areas of the city of Severodonetsk, Luhansk region. The fire started on at least 10 high-rise buildings, garages, and a shopping center. 5 people waiting in a line at a humanitarian aid center were wounded. Staying in Donetsk, Luhansk, and Kharkiv regions in the east of the country is becoming increasingly dangerous. The occupiers are gathering forces there and can launch an active offensive. Therefore, Deputy Prime Minister of Ukraine Irina Vereshchuk called on Ukrainians to leave the regions immediately. Because later on, people will be under fire, they will be shot, and there will be nothing they could do. And we will not be able to help them, because it will be almost impossible to stop the fire. Dnipropetrovsk region, in the central eastern part of the country, was hit by airstrikes. On April the 6th, an enemy shell destroyed the oil depot. They also fired on an oil plant where 6 fuel oil tanks caught fire. As a result, half a kilometer area was burning. Fortunately, no one was injured. Russians killed and ate dogs during the temporary occupation of Ukrainian towns and villages. A gruesome place where an animal was brutally killed was found in the liberated Vorzel, not far from Kyiv. The dog was nailed by the paws, and then the animal's body was dismembered. In another yard in Vorzel, the occupiers left behind chicken heads suspended by clothespins on a rope. WBS Ukraine President Mykola Kovalchuk, whose house is located in Bucha, also spoke about the Russia's abuse of animals. Russian occupiers killed my dear girl, my champion Rakata. Bloody orcs threw grenades at her for fun to see her die. Ukrainian animal rights activists also reacted to the cold-blooded abuse of animals by Russists. The civilized world will never understand the purpose of such actions, but only one thing is clear. In the Russian hinterland, where those who are now destroying our life on our territory come from, the norm is what we call psychopathy. Armored vehicles tore down fences and drove on civilians' yards. This is how the occupiers had fun in the captured Ukrainian towns and villages. In Bucha, where the Russian military massacred people, they set up alcohol parties in their victims' backyards and looted their homes.
Вот тут разгромлено все. Курили кальян, вытянули, вот жрали свой паёк, русская армия.
And here are the shots of what is left after the occupiers lived in the estate of one of the villages of Zhytomyr region bordering with Belarus. According to the locals, the houses had been turned into barns, and even after the liberation from the enemy, it is still dangerous for residents to return to their homes because they can be mined. The occupiers are hiding the traces of their bloody crimes. After the world saw the photos with mutilated bodies of civilians in Bucha, mobile crematoria started operating in Mariupol. This was reported by the Mariupol City Council. According to rough estimates by the city authorities, the occupiers killed at least 5,000 Mariupol residents, but the actual death toll could reach tens of thousands. So the Russians are doing their best to destroy the evidence of killing the civilians by burning their bodies. That is why Russia is in no hurry to give the green light to the Turkish mission and other initiatives to save and fully evacuate Mariupol. In addition, all potential witnesses to the occupiers' atrocities are being identified through filtration camps and destroyed. The president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, also stated that the Russian leadership is trying to destroy evidence of civilian killings. However, he assured the perpetrators will not be able to avoid responsibility.
Ми знаємо вже про тисячі зниклих безвісті людей. Ми знаємо вже про тисячі людей, які можуть бути або депортовані в Росію, або вбиті. Завдяки об'єктивному розслідуванню, завдяки свідкам, завдяки супутниковому нагляду за подіями на землі, завдяки іншим інструментам, які допомагають встановити правду, ми з'ясуємо усі обставини щодо більшості зниклих наших громадян.
Mariupol, home to nearly 500,000 Ukrainians before Russia's large-scale invasion, has become a death camp, according to Mayor Vadim Boychenko. This is the new Auschwitz and Majdanek. The world must help punish Putin's crimes. The occupiers did not stop attempts to storm Mariupol, constantly firing at it from the air. About 100,000 people who remain in the city are not allowed to evacuate by the Russian military. They are on the verge of death because of the humanitarian catastrophe. Mariupol has been under complete blockade for more than a month.
Where can you find a safe place if your city is under siege? Is it an usual residential building? No. In hospitals or schools?
Третья больница, Мариуполь. Роддом.
No. In a theater, the heart of your city. Far away from any military objects. Yes, that's a good idea. Is there any other way we could warn Russian pilots about kids hiding in the theater? Yes, capital letters, in Russian. That way we will definitely be safe. But only if murdering our children isn't their goal.